Good morning. This morning I had been reflecting on a news message that I heard last month that was about uh, a couple that had died in a riptide. They had drowned, and two of their grown children had tried to save them but were unable to. And this was in Florida, and it made me think about an experience I had close to 60 years ago. I was in Southern California, and I got caught in a riptide. And I thought that I was the only one out there. I had a couple of family members that were on the beach. But what ended up happening, and I was 16 years old, was that literally the bottom went out from underneath me. I didn't expect this drop to happen. And then all of a sudden I was engulfed in a riptide. And I'm not really a strong swimmer, but this thing just got a hold of me, and I literally went down for the last time. And I remember that sense of peace that came over me, and realizing that there was no more oxygen. And in that moment, someone grabbed me and threw me up in the air. And I didn't realize that there was a surfer that was also out there, and he saw that I was drowning. And he had me hang on to the back of his neck, and it took time, but he swam in and he saved my life. I really didn't know what to do in this riptide other than to try to swim back in. But as I was listening to this news of this family and these two parents of 6 children, all adults, and 2 of them had tried to save their parents, was, what do we do in a riptide? And listening to what they said was really a couple of things. One is to let it take you out further, and then signal to others for help so that you're actually out of the riptide, or swim parallel or float parallel along the shore, turning sideways, and until you get out of that rip current. So I then was thinking about life, even though we're not in the ocean, and how life can give us riptides to deal with situations, problems, disappointments, losses that feel like a riptide. And what do we do? Do we keep trying to swim? Or do we, I have said about this, there's times to swim towards your goal, and there's times to simply flip on your back and float. Because you're going to get to where you're needing to go in that moment. It may not be where you think, but when you float, eventually when you flip over, you will have gone somewhere. And maybe that's the place that you really need to be. So I'm sorry for this family and the devastation and the tragedy that this situation brought to all of them. But I also, through the examples and the sacrifice of so many others in different situations, hope that I can learn and understand my own situations in life and the direction that I want to take through their examples, tragedies, and heroic situations that they face in their lives. Thank you for listening, and have a good day.